What's up, guys? It's me, the ALE Double X Prince, here to give you my final review for the MCU. I already did a review for Black Panther. I thought the movie was great. Had its issues just like any other movie, but it's still an awesome masterpiece and I really enjoyed it. So if you guys want to see that review, you could look for it on my channel. But this ain't about Black Panther. This is about Thor Ragnarok. Yes. And I think it's a well conclusion to end it with this movie, because this movie was a thrill ride just all the way through. Had its issues, but again, that's every movie. And it actually ended exactly where Infinity War will probably where Infinity War will probably end up starting, because well, we'll get to the ending when we get to the ending. But anyways, this movie was just fucking awesome. Basically, for the past couple of years, Thor's been looking for the Infinity Stones that he's seen in Age of Ultron, and he couldn't find them, and then he gets kidnapped by this big monster. I keep forgetting his name. Sorry. Oh, what was it? Voltstag, or I forgot his name. Anyways, basically that big bad monster that you see in the trailers. This big like devil-like dude. I keep forgetting his name. I'll just call him the Ragnarok, just because basically that's what he's trying to claim. He's basically trying to make Ragnarok happen, and Thor is doing everything he can to prevent that. So it starts with a cool battle. It had its humor moments of like Thor just being like, "Oh, hold on, give me a second. Oh shit, sorry. There we go." So that was entertaining. Also, Thor catching his hammer. They actually joke about this for a while, where he actually takes forever to actually get his hammer and stuff. Basically, there's that, and basically after defeating this big beast, the only way to revive him is if they put him in this like big flame that's trapped in the freaking the what's it called, fuck, what's the name of that damn movie? Not the movie, but like basically there's this like big area of things that Asgard hides. So basically Thor takes that with him, and while it takes a while, because we have a new character in this movie. Trying to find his freaking name. Oopsie daisy. Damn, these fucking notes suck. Basically, Heimdall's gone, so they got somebody else in charge of the key. I keep forgetting that. I'm trying to find the actor's name just because that way it's like a lot easier for me, but seem to not find it for whatever the freaking reason is. Fuck, I forgot his name. I'm blanking out on names. I'm sorry, guys. This is a bad review, And you know what? Seeing me fail is kind of funny. After all, this is a comedy movie. Basically, after this, Thor finds Odin, his father, but of course, and if you remember Thor: The Dark World, it was actually Loki as Odin instead of what you expected. And basically in this scene, it was probably the funniest shit ever. But we actually have like a big play going on with Matt Damon, and I forgot who plays Thor, but basically it's the scene from Thor: The Dark World. They exaggerated. It was funny. It was entertaining. It was just really funny. And then when Odin sees Thor, he's like, "Oh shit!" And that's when Loki reveals he's not dead, because he's been pretending to be Odin this whole time. And Thor was like, "All right, we're gonna go find my father soon, ASAP." And they go back to Earth. Basically, this movie is it's basically a reboot, a continuation of the MCU, and a fun Thor movie. Because Thor later starts taking pictures with all his all these girls, and one of them's like, sorry Jane dumped you. Basically, they got rid of Natalie Portman. They just got rid of that character for good. I like Natalie Portman in this series. I didn't like the other bitch she was with, that white bitch, that white pale ass bitch. I don't give a fuck, she a bitch. Anyways, Loki and Thor are looking for Odin, but then Loki's trapped by one of Doctor Strange's circles, and Thor picks up a little note finding the address to Doctor Strange, and basically Doctor Strange and Thor are interacting, and it was nice to see just a tease of what Doctor Strange is when he interacts with the Avengers, and interacting with Thor was great. He's gonna help out Thor find his dad. I thought this was gonna be Doctor Strange, Loki, Hulk, and everybody who was rumored in this movie like fighting. Doctor Strange isn't fighting yet. It makes sense. He's still in charge of taking care of this realm, so it worked for that advantage. And basically, when he helps find Odin, he has like his trap and everything. He's like going room to room, and Thor keeps spilling his beer. And basically, Doctor Strange finds the spot where Odin is, and he brings back Loki. And as they find Odin, he dies like Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. And he basically talks about how the first sister, Hela, is coming, and played by Cate Blanchett. Now, Cate Blanchett, I always thought people overhyped her attractiveness. But her in black hair, she looks good. She is pretty. I can see why people say she's hot. So I'll give them that. So basically, they open the portal to go back to Asgard, but then as Hela is chasing them down, she basically gets them out of there, and they're basically in this like dumpster planet for a majority of the movie. And oh yeah, did I forget to mention? Hela breaks Thor's hammer, which plays a big role in this movie. So anyways, Valkyrie. That's when we get introduced to Valkyrie, probably one of my favorite new characters in the series. Honestly, this movie introduced 3 of my favorite new characters in the series. Valkyrie, of course, being one of them, who works for the Grandmaster, which is a great character by Jeff Goldblum. It's basically Jeff Goldblum playing Jeff Goldblum. There's no other way of saying it. Throughout the movie, Thor gets zapped, which is a big issue for me. It's like, how the fuck is Thor continuously getting electrocuted, yet he's the God of Thunder? Or the Lord of Thunder, whatever he's supposed to be called, if you know what I'm saying. Anyways, the introduction to the Grandmaster was actually done pretty cleverly. Like, basically, Thor is scared. He's like, ah! And, everybody's like looking at him like, what the hell? So, Jeff Goldblum's introduction was great. And basically, Thor is just trying to get back to Asgard, but the only way he'll go back to Asgard is if he fights his big monster. And sure enough, that monster happens to be the Hulk. Yes, Hulk and Thor. We all thought this was going to be Planet Hulk. I'm cool with that not being the case. This is one of those things where a lot of expectations were onto this movie, considering like we wanted a Planet Hulk, we expect Doctor Strange, but honestly, if it wasn't for the directing and the funny jokes and all the quirkiness and just fun, this wouldn't have succeeded. It really wouldn't. And Thor is, of course, one of my favorite superheroes. Those are from the MCU, of course, or Marvel in general. Like my top 3 are Wolverine, Hulk, and Thor. Yeah, it's that order. And so yeah, it was great to see 2 of my favorites in one movie. So that was awesome. So anyways, these 2 have a battle as soon as like Thor is about to get his ass kicked. Like, Loki's like, yeah, that's what you get, and this and that. Yeah, basically, as Thor was trying to get his powers working again, we get a tease of what his powers could be more than just the hammer. Which, by the way, that interaction with Thor and Korg about the hammer was pretty funny. Korg is probably another one of my favorite characters in this movie. Korg is actually played by the director himself, Taika Waititi. He was like honestly the funniest guy in there. He's like, "Hello, I'm me. Hello, I'm Korg. I'm I'm out to fly the spaceship. You wanna come?" Like, sounds like you had a really interactive relationship with your hammer. You looking for Korg? Who's asking? Well, I know you're asking, but is there somebody else asking? So he was just entertaining. He was probably the best character, one of the best characters in this new series. So it was great. And basically, for the most part, Thor lives, and basically Thor and Hulk are sharing a room together. And it was actually kind of it was really entertaining with the interactions with Hulk and Thor in this movie. Basically, Thor's trying to escape, but he gets shocked all the time he gets out. Thor naked and like, how did you get here? And then he gets out of the tub and he's like, oh, it's in my brain now. Like, it was just hilarious. They see the spaceship from Age of Ultron, which is the last time we saw Hulk. We all thought he was dead, but turns out he's not. Eventually we find out Valkyrie used to fight for Asgard. She is an Asgardian. She fought in the Valkyries, but Hela killed all of them except her. So basically, she's getting revenge. She was thinking of getting revenge, but she really didn't want to. Until Loki put like possessed her. And also I remember Hulk when he does escape, he turns back into first he tries to open the ship, see if it works again. He's like, Thor, God of Thunder, and like all this stuff, and it doesn't work. And then he's like, strongest Avenger, it doesn't work. And then he says Point Break, and it does work because if you guys remember the first Avenger, they called him Point Break all the time, so that was awesome. Eventually Hulk's like, stay, don't leave, and that's when Thor finds a clip of his last interaction with Scarlett Johansson, or Black Widow. Hulk sees the clip of Black Widow, and he basically turns himself back into regular Bruce Banner. It was great to see that the story's gonna play off, because I didn't really hate the story of Black Widow and the Hulk. I didn't hate it. It was random, but I'm cool with it. But yeah. Anyways, Banner was like, what's going on? And then he's like, yeah, we gotta stop Ultron. Like, Ultron, that was 2 years ago. And when he's like trying to figure out what happened last time he was in the ship, he's like, Banner, welcome, strongest Avenger. Hold up. And basically, the Grandmaster thinks that the Hulk is been kidnapped by Thor, so Thor is now a criminal, and Banner's just like, whatever. He's dressed. They put him in Stark's clothes because when he was the Hulk, he was naked. It was funny. They're trying to go back to Asgard, and Banner was like, man, see, you're just using me for the Hulk. Fuck you. You're not my friend. Like, that was awesome. And then Thor being like, no, I hate the Hulk. I like Banner. I like you more. And which is funny because earlier he's like, Hulk was like, you're Banner's friend. And he's like, no, I don't even like Banner. He's a loser. I prefer Hulk. And, that was just really funny. This movie was just so fun. It was so entertaining. I didn't give a shit with any of the problems in this movie. It was just a ton of fun. And I had a blast watching this movie. They actually picked the perfect director for this movie. Basically, and I'll get more in depth as far as like why I really thought this movie does work. But anyways, I forgot to even mention Heimdall. Idris Elba has actually been saving Asgardians, basically putting him in hiding until they get found. But basically, in the meantime, Hulk, Thor, Valkyrie, and then they also get Loki, and they're gonna set up a team to fight Hela as the Revengers, because Valkyrie's getting revenge, Thor's getting revenge, Loki's getting revenge. Like, yeah, that was all. Everybody's getting revenge. So it was just funny interactions with all the characters. Also, this scene was really hilarious when he talks about this story about snakes. He's like, yeah, I love snakes, so I picked it up, and then Loki turns to like, bah, it's me. And so he stabbed me, and I was like, It was just so funny. I had a blast with this. Also, the Thor and the interaction with all these characters, they were just great. Thor and Loki playing help him with the guards, like, help him, and he throws him. Of course, no one trusts Loki, so Thor put a zapper thing on Loki, so basically he puts him in a zap. And Thor, Valkyrie, Hulk escape, and then Korg and his buddies save Loki. So then they come with a really really big spaceship to put all the Asgardians in the ship. So that was all great. It was funny. They had a ship, and it happens to be the Grandmaster's orgy. Freaking the orgy plane. It was just hilarious. They're traveling up the devil's anus. Yeah. It was just so fucking entertaining. Some people even argue that this movie was too funny, and to an extent, I agree that they took some of the serious moments away. But I just didn't care. I was just having a blast with it. So basically, that's the only issue I have with the movie. Eventually, Thor and Hela fight. Thor loses an eye. Holy shit! But my favorite part of the scene was Odin talking to Thor for the last time. Like, I can't be Hela. Like, she broke my hammer. I just can't do it. And that's when Odin's like, "What are you, the god of hammers? No, I gave you that hammer to give you to control your power. You've always had the power to be the god of thunder." Basically, it's kind of like saying the belt doesn't make the man makes the belt. Kind of a wrestling term, of course. So anyways, Thor comes with Led Zeppelin. It was just badass. Also, there's this big wolf that Hulk fights. I remember Banner jumps to attack. He thought he was going to turn to Hulk, but he dies for a little bit, and then the Hulk turns back into himself. And, you know, it was just a badass battle. Valkyrie has her original, like, uniform on. It was just badass. It was just a cool scene with the Led Zeppelin song, and I'm glad that they actually used the Led Zeppelin song. I know a lot of movies put songs in their trailers, but they end up never using them. What's a perfect example of that? There's a lot of movies that do that these days, but it worked. You know, when Marvel does it, they know what the hell they're doing. So anyways, the only way to really prevent Hela from beating the Asgardians, they have to turn Ragnarok. So that's when they turn that big beast. They put him in the flames. Loki takes the mask and puts it in the flames. As he's walking towards it, he sees the Tesseract, basically holding one of the Infinity Stones. So he takes that. We're assuming, but let's be real. We already saw the Avengers trailers. We know he took it. So stop bullshitting, saying, hey, maybe he didn't take it. He did take it. Stop BSing. So anyways, they're all in the ship. It was basically that. It's not, Asgard is not a place. It's the people around it. And now that Thor is officially the god of thunder and basically the king now of Asgard, they're going to Earth. So as they're heading out to Earth, they get stopped by a ship, which we all know it's Thanos. So it left that cliffhanger. They have a big funny scene with the Grandmaster with all these cannibal dudes in the garbage planet. So that was that. Overall, this is a great time. This is one of my... It's easily Taika Waititi's best movies. I can't even talk right, but if there's some movies I could recommend from Taika Waititi, it will probably be this one, of course. What We Do in the Shadows, pretty funny movie. And Hunt for the Wilder People is probably one of my favorites that he's done. If it wasn't for Thor Ragnarok, Hunt for the Wilder People probably would have been my favorite. But yeah, he's a clever dude. And it just bugs me knowing that if, you know, they gave Taika Waititi and Ryan Coogler full control of doing whatever they want while sticking to the main MCU plotline. I'm curious to see what Edgar Wright's Ant-Man would have been like. That would have been fucking phenomenal. I don't even know how amazing that movie would have been, but yeah. It was just a great movie. I had a blast. It was tons of fun. I can't wait for Infinity War this Friday now. Yeah, that'll be it. I finally finished all the MCU reviews. Hope you guys enjoy this series. It's me, the ALE Double X Prince. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until then, I'm out.